Now let's create our family slide. Go ahead and click on the button here to select slides. You're either going to select the title and body or the title with 2 columns slide. Title in 2 columns would be best if your parents, if you have divorced parents, if there are 2 households that you stay at. If you have just 1 household, maybe just 1 home, then title and body. So I'm going to start with title in 2 columns. Again, that would be best for families where the parents are divorced. At the top, please click and type My Family. Please put a capital M and a capital F. In titles, normally we center the titles. So to center, you have to look around on the toolbars here. Centering is actually underneath Align. So go ahead and click on Align, and then you'll see there's some choices. Go ahead, click on Right. See what that does. It aligns to the right. And then, of course, go ahead and click on Center, and it'll go right to the center. Okay, go ahead and click on the left box. We could call this Mom's side or Dad's side, whatever. Of course, if your parents are together, if you only need 1 column, that's fine. Here's how you can switch the layouts. Just move your mouse over the edge so it's not inside one of the boxes, one of the text boxes. You'd have to move it all the way over to here, and then you would right-click, and then you can change the layout of the slide. Let's see if we can see that on there. Right-click. There it is. Change the layout. So right now I have it on title in 2 columns. I could easily switch to title and body. And actually that's what I'm going to do. Of course, if you do need 2 columns, just leave it on that. Title and body. Okay, so My Family, and I'm going to do this as if I was a 13-year-old. So back when I was 13 years old, this would have been my family. So I would start with Wayne Wiesner. That's my father. And when you're writing people's names down, please write the first name and the last name, because a lot of people have different last names than their family members. Always put the full first name, whatever they go by normally with friends and coworkers, family, and then the last name. Make sure to remember capital letters and a space in between. Then you're going to put a space, 1 space, and then a dash. The dash is up above the P on the keyboard, then another space. Then you're going to write down who it is to you, how they're related to you. So this is my father. You go ahead and type father. You could also write down dad, and then a space, and then a dash, and another space, and now you're going to write how old they are. So if I was 13 years old, then my dad would have been about 35. Okay? After you've typed down 1 family member, double check that you have all the spacing right. So first name, then a space, last name, then a space, then a dash, then another space, then how they're related to you, then a space, then another dash, then a space, and then how old they are. Go ahead and press enter and do another family member. So I'm going to put my mom, Sheila Wiesner. She's my mom. And if I was 13, she would have been 33. And then my sister. She was my sister. And 13 years old minus 7 would give 8 years old for my sister when I was 13. Okay, so that's my family. My family was small. Most people have larger families. Now you could add a whole lot of more people on here. The most important people to have on here are, just think about where you slept last night. The people who sleep in the same house, who have beds or just stay there, those would be good people to list for my family. I mean, you should always have like your mom and your dad, and you could have stepmom or stepdad. If maybe your mom has a long time live-in boyfriend or something, you could list them. Of course, you should list brothers and sisters, half-brothers and half-sisters. You should also list stepbrothers and stepsisters, You could list if you have a sister-in-law or a brother-in-law, or if your brother or your sister is engaged to be married, you could list your their fiance. If you have any nieces or nephews, you could list those, but at the very minimum, the shortest list should be the people who, last night, the people who live there. Okay? And of course, if someone's away on a trip or something, you can list them. It's really up to you who you list on your family slide. Just remember, you're going to be showing this slide to your class and sharing it with your teacher, and so you're going to want to list all the people that you think you want to talk about as being in your family. As far as a couple specific questions, you do not have to list yourself on the slide because we already saw your name on the first slide. You also don't have to list companion animals or pets because we're going to do that on the next slide. Okay, one last thing before we move on from this slide is we're going to make this a bulleted list. Now, how do we make it a bulleted list? Click on any of the last names or how they're related to you. Just click somewhere within the text. Then go up to the toolbar and find where it says bulleted list. Right now it shows it here, but it might show it somewhere else. What you're looking for is a little symbol that has little dots and then little lines next to it. Go ahead and click on that. And you can see I'm going to have to move my mouse up and click on each one separately. Now there is an easier way to do this, so I'm going to click undo 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The easier way to do it is to highlight the entire list that you want to be bulleted. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to hold down my mouse. I'm holding it down. I'm going to pull this way towards the first letter I typed. Now I'm going to let go, and I'm going to click on the bullet. Okay, so that makes a bulleted list. Now I'm going to try it a different way. So I'm going to click undo. This time I'm going to right click and see if I can do select all. Nope, I can't do select all. Alright. Instead, I'm going to slide this over first. Instead, I'm going to hold down the control key on the keyboard and then press the letter A. So I'm holding down CTRL, I'm pressing A, and you'll see it selects all. Now I'm going to press on the bulleted list. Now it's over here. Okay, there's my bulleted list. One last way to do the highlighting to select all would be to highlight from the very first letter. So I'm clicking and holding down my mouse and all the way to the last letter. I'm letting go, and now I'm going to click on the bulleted list. Okay. There's also a numbered list. Go ahead and click on that just for fun. You'll see that's a numbered list. We certainly wouldn't do that for our family because we don't want to make it look like we're ranking our family members. Go ahead and click back to a bulleted list, and it looks like we're done with this slide. We've learned how to center, we've learned how to select different slide layouts, and we've also learned how to bullet lists.